She comes in and she looks at me and goes, yeah, you're done drinking. And I went, absolutely fucking not. I said, you are not my flight attendant, so you can leave now or go get me another beer. And then that woman got fired. I always try to treat people to make them laugh and giggle, but sometimes you get in life. And when I feel like I feel like it's my job as a human being, as a white male, to light you the up, to out you and show you what looks like. Okay. And it does not come pretty.
No, it's not pretty.
No.
See the
yeah.
jowl shake?
Shut up, Leanne.
So, you know,
Just shut,
we're
Leanne.
in the next stratosphere, the jowl shake, and you're like, oh shit, back up.
Tom and Bert don't have the greatest track record when it comes to being rich and famous douchebags. In fact, on the list of entitled celebrities who have gone full Karen, Tom and Bert are easily in the top 10. Some would even argue that they're in the top 3. But that's not the worst part. You see, celebrities throwing tantrums in public because they didn't get their way immediately isn't anything new. But what makes Tom and Bert so unique is that they actually brag about it. This has always been something that I never really understood because, as much as they like to believe it, these guys aren't rock stars. Rockstar behavior is usually only ever celebrated if you're an actual rock star, right? But when you're a middle-aged, overweight alcoholic comedian jacked up on Ozempic and TRT, rockstar behavior doesn't really go down well with your fans. And that's something Tom and Bert figured out the hard way yet again over the course of this past week. What they thought was just some light-hearted storytelling ended up backfiring and turning their fans against them. So I'm going to show you how they completely misread the room and screwed themselves while thinking they were being open and honest on their podcast. But if you haven't already, check out the link in the description to my Patreon where you'll find part 2 of my Kill Tony MSG weekend coverage. There's also a full review of Joe Rogan's recent comedy special, as well as a bunch of other exclusive videos. So check that out if you're interested. It's a great way to support the channel. As for Tom and Bert though, well, unfortunately for us, Tom's off having a staycation with Emma Hicks this week, so it was a solo podcast with Bert and Young Gravy, and it doesn't seem to be doing very well. Two Bears, One Cave is so far gone at this point that they literally resorted to reading comments off Reddit.
We were just talking about Hub comments.
Y'all were talking about comments.
Yeah, we were casually talking about. He's like, "Have you read the comments in Hub?" And I was like, "People leave comments. We get me on Hub. I want to read some comments."
Oh, you're just looking up at this point. I think you should maybe look up like. Comments.
By the way, this is a woman Googling this who's never looked at in her life. Look, I'm assuming.
Hub comments, wholesome.
The Reddit Hub comments. I'm tripping. Or does he have balls? Am I tripping, or does he
not have balls?
Yeah. No, sometimes when your balls go into your body, especially if you're on testosterone.
They also got onto how the internet has affected our lives and the pros and cons of being so connected with each other, and it was here that Bert made one of the most delusional and fucking hilarious comments I've ever heard come out of his mouth. You guys are gonna love this.
The connectivity of the world, I think, has created a lot more enjoyment. I think the internet maybe has kind of added and taken away from it.
I think it's added and taken away. I think there's really cool things about the internet. Like, I really do. And I try to find the upside of everything. But, like, this is very against who I am because I don't read comments. I don't read my comments. But what I really enjoy are funny, mean comments. Like, funny, like when someone does something and as you look at the video, you're like, oh, my God, I got to run to the comments. And then the comments are hysterical.
Okay. That's how I feel when I see literally any video or short clip with Bert Kreischer in it. Straight to the comment section to assess the damage. And so when I was watching last week's train wreck of an episode, I went down to the comments and this is what I found. Damn, Bert really exposed his real self on this one. God, he's an awful person. So you got someone fired for not wanting drunk adults around a high school fashion show? What kind of sick person are you, Bart? Bart bragging about how he got a woman fired. My favorite part of Bert trying to defend being an asshole makes him look like such a bigger asshole. The last 30 minutes of this pod was Bert going, so I basically act like a spoiled 13-year-old a lot. So it's safe to say that their attempt to be genuine, open, and honest about their embarrassing behavior ended up backfiring on them. Instead of making them seem more relatable, it made them look even worse than we initially thought.
I hope people enjoy the comment section.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good one.
I bet. I can't wait. Listen. Can we just celebrate the fact that I'm open to share my flaws?
I think it's the fucking the whole root of this right here is saying we're sharing embarrassing behaviors.
Embarrassing.
And you should share yours. That would be a much more interesting comment section.
I would love to please share in the comments times that you have behaved irrationally and was willing to die on that hill.
Isn't it funny how when you build a reputation for being an entitled brat who acts like a spoiled teenager, your fans don't respond to your stories the way you think they will? And the best part is how delusional they were in thinking they could engineer their own comment section. So this all started with Bert sharing a couple of times he went full Karen. But I just want to make one point before we go into all the podcast cringe slop. There's one very simple reason why this backfired on them. They're not being open and honest and sharing these stories to improve themselves and become better people. They're sharing all of this shit to brag. They think it's a flex, especially for Bert. He thinks it's cool because he's the bad boy comedian who's living it up and doing things everyone else can only dream of. He flies in private jets. He's got the cars, the houses, the watches. He drinks all day and parties all night. He travels around the world to sold-out arenas full of cheering fans who can't wait to see him shit his pants on stage. Literally. So for him, being a Karen is just another quirk of his comedy brain. It's all one big flex.
Leanne was pointing out times where I've lost, where I think the rules don't work the way I want them to work. And I will, just tell her to get up here. And she was, because I switch over. I go to Karen. I go full Karen.
Yeah,
but it's my Karen.
I know.
Like we were at the girls' fashion show for the school, and we were at the dad's and having a good time. We're having some beers, and one of the ladies in charge of the fashion show came in and was like, she takes it very serious. She's like, not one of the moms. She's one of the people that produces it. And she comes in and she looks at me and goes, you're done drinking. And I went, absolutely f***ing not. I said, you are not my flight attendant, so you can leave now or go get me another beer. And then that woman got fired.
You're talking about the fashion show.
Yeah, fashion show.
Only Bert Kreischer can tell a story about getting somebody fired for doing absolutely nothing other than simply their job. Meanwhile, these are the guys who get all butthurt and lose their minds when somebody heckles them while they're performing on stage. Because, God forbid, somebody interrupts them while they're doing their job.
Talking about when we were in Vegas and the lady was like, yeah, you can't sit here, you got to sit there.
Oh, it's not very pretty.
Well, he was saying when he goes from fun, jovial guy to like...
Fuck yourself, guy?
Yeah. And I said, I've seen it. I've been there for it. And he goes, Leanne has a list. And I go, I'm sure it's longer than mine.
Yeah.
So he wanted to bring you up.
For my list?
Just give me a good one and I'll tell Tom, I'll defend myself.
Anytime you're told no for access to an area. That's anytime.
Oh, yeah, that's
Fill in the
right.
blank.
That's that's called big time in people.
Here. You can't walk here. I can't let you in here. Anybody in an arena who's been told who he is. And
Hold on. Stop it. Hang on.
I remember.
Light them up. Like in such a way that I go.
No. That's not fair.
That is fair.
That's not fair.
Actually, you can say, hey, this is my show without being like, go f*** yourself.
I don't say go f*** yourself.
You come pretty close.
I don't say go f*** yourself. No, hold on.
It's an embarrassing attitude.
It's not, hold on. Tom, this is a big mistake. I should have never brought her up here. This is why we should have never let women vote. We should have never I wish she was a voiceless.
It feels borderline diva-ish.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I think Mariah Carey has similar stories.
I understand. Okay, listen.
Don't you love how Tom sits there judging Bert for being a diva when he was the one who had a 48-hour Twitter meltdown this time last year because he was asked to check his bag at the airport and then quietly deleted every tweet from that month thinking none of us would notice? Those of you who have been following this channel for a while now will know that ever since that incident and all the backlash he got from his fans, Tom's been trying to clean up his public image and drop the whole douchey rich guy thing. And to be honest, he's been doing a pretty good job of it. The flip side is he's slowly becoming boring as fuck. Have you guys noticed that as well? It's like he's been in autopilot this year. He just sits there and lets Bert do all the talking and laughs at him as if he's just there to moderate the conversation like Tony Hinchcliffe on Kill Tony.
If you say anything else, they're going to literally kick you out. We're going to have to edit this fucking part out because you're such a dumb cunt. that you had to keep talking after I told you to not talk. You had to update your table about why you were talking and how silly it is and what I said.
But Bert absolutely loves this shit. Just take a look at his face when he talks about himself and all the bratty things he's been doing. Nothing gives him more pleasure than to talk about himself and how much better he is than everyone else.
Everyone right now is hearing this, and they're ready for me to spin out, and I am not the hero in the story. I need you to stop and pause, and I need you to remember that you liked me originally, so let me be my hero for a second. Okay?
Are you going to give us a humility speech?
It's not a humility.
She knows you so well. It's really...
It's f***ing exhausting.
This is...
It's exhausting. Okay, I'll tell you the very last show we did. So I did a 2-year arena run. Now there's every morning. I don't need to tell this to you, but I'm telling this to anyone listening. Every morning you pull into the arena, your team goes in and they have a meeting with the staff, with the security, with everyone that runs the venue.
Yep.
Here's how today is going to work. Everyone will have passes except for one guy. He will probably be shirtless in shorts and barefoot walking around. He is Bert. This is what he looks like. There's a picture of him everywhere. So when he goes to walk, he will not have a lanyard on. He will not be wearing a lanyard. So just giving you a heads up, when you see that guy, it is the artist. Now, let's just be fair. If you are working in an arena, you maybe want to know who the artist is that's performing in that arena that evening. So the very last show I did, I go walking in to go to the gym. I just had my workout clothes on and no shirt, and white dude maybe didn't get accepted into the police academy, lights me up. Hey, whoa, I need to see your pass. And I went, I'm actually good. I'm the artist. No. Everyone needs a pass. I go, that's when I switch.
That was a quick switch. That was a quick switch, though.
See the jowl shake that happened, though?
Yeah.
See the jowl shake?
Shut up, Leanne.
So, you know,
Just
we're in
Leanne,
the next stratosphere, the jowl shake, and you're like, oh shit, back up.
You switched quick, though, on this guy.
I did.
Yeah. It didn't really get there.
And I wasn't done.
No, yeah.
That guy, hang on, that guy did not know who I was. But by the way, I'm paying him. If I'm paying you, treat me with a little bit of respect. That's all I ask. A little bit of respect. Or give me the same respect, and this is what I said, and maybe this is a wild statement, give me the same amount of respect that you would expect every artist to get. If Whitney Houston walked in, no, that's a bad example. If J-Lo walked in, you would know it's J-Lo. You'd be like, oh, hey, how you doing? I don't need to see your lanyard. Have a great show.
Yeah.
And by the way, 98% of the time I walk into a venue, that is how I am dealt with. And I will say this, and I will make this racial. It has never been a black dude or a black woman that gives me shit. They always go, what's up? How you doing? Every time I've had an issue, it's been a fucking white dude, an overweight, balding white dude who's lit me up. And I said this one time, I said, if that's how you treat me, imagine if Lil Baby comes in and what do you do to him and his guys? Because I already know how you feel. You got a power complex. I fight power with power for the powerless. I do it for the powerless.
You're so humble. You're humiliating.
Stop it. She's gaslighting me, and she gaslights me, Tom.
Yeah.
She gaslights me all the fucking time.
I see it.
And
Yeah, I'm sure Bert's main concern is the social and racial inequities experienced by celebrity minorities in modern America. And did he really just compare himself to Whitney Houston and Jennifer Lopez? His story actually reminded me of a few times when Formula One drivers get checked by security when they arrive at the track, because not all of the security teams know exactly who these guys are, even though they make a lot more money than Bert does and they're a lot more famous. In fact, the same thing happened to 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton at the Canadian Grand Prix this year, except he didn't handle it like a spoiled brat who's desperate for fame and attention. And just to remind you, Tom and Bert tried to pass off this whole storytelling honesty session as self-improvement. Remember, they're embarrassed about their behavior. They want to change.
I can't wait to fucking light someone up at Costco, and I will. Hold on. Hang on.
This is called priming someone. I think this is actually, you're going to go in there. Yeah.
I can't. I walked up. We got close to it the other day. I was like, what's selling well? And he goes, vodkas. He goes, you know what's crazy? The Kirkland vodka sells really well. I said, really? He goes, yeah, the higher end ones don't. We got a new one. And I said, it's mine. And he went, yeah, huh? And I went, no, that's my vodka. And he goes, sure it is. And I go, no, I'll be here August 3rd for a bottle signing. And he went, huh? And it's moments like that where if I feel like he's going to tell me to go f myself, that's when my skin.
I think you're looking for it though at that point, right?
No. What I'm trying to do was, because I know you got in trouble for just starting to film in there, and I was looking for access to film at that moment, and I knew I had to slow roll it. I wasn't going to go and hard sell him, so I was like kind of massage him, and then he was really f***ing cool. We'll see him today.
Oh, okay.
He was really cool, and he was like,
I thought you were about to tell me I ripped his.
He was really cool. He was like, "Oh, wait, for real?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "My name's Bert. I'm a comedian." I said, "Me and my best friend, disabled comedian, we launched this vodka." And he was like, "Wow." And he said, "Well, like, is it like a white label thing?" And I went, "No." It was really cool. And I said, "Man, I go, this is the only place you can get handles." And I showed him the bottle, and he was like, "You designed all that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was a team. We worked." Yeah. It was a really great conversation. That's all I want out of everyone. So when I say when you order Starbucks, are you nice? I always try to treat people to make them laugh and giggle, but sometimes you get in life. And when I feel like I feel like it's my job as a human being, as a white male, to light you the up, to out you and show you what looks like. Okay. And it does not come pretty.
No, it's not pretty.
Isn't it funny how the story changes from self-improvement to bragging? And just to give you guys an idea of just how much nobody gives a fuck about their new vodka, take a look at this recent anecdote from Bert, which in my opinion is 100%, no question, completely true.
This is a subtle plug. We are in all Costco's in Southern California, 19 different stores. Yeah, it's so cool going to Costco and seeing our vodka.
I know,
it's so cool. And do you know I'm aggressive?
Yeah,
there was a dude grabbing a bottle of Tito's, and I went, "Can I change your mind?" And he went, "Excuse me." I said, "Same price point. All I'm saying is this one's a little cleaner." Yeah. And he goes, "Well, I've never heard of it." And I said, "It's mine." And he didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I said, "I'll tell you what. I actually at the counter, I went. There was a dude with a handle of Tito's. Yeah, and I switched it for him. I said, "There you go, buddy." And then he goes, "But I want my Tito's." And I said, "This is better for you." And he goes, "I'm going to stick with my Tito's." I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to buy this bottle for you. I'm going to give it to you. And I want you to enjoy my vodka." And I bought him a bottle of vodka, put it in his fucking thing.
That's cool.
I bought 3 handles.
Okay, here are 3 reasons why that story is definitely true. Number 1, the guy had no idea who Bert Kreischer was. Number 2, he gave absolutely zero fucks about Bert's new vodka. And number 3, Bert had to take it to the counter for him and pay for it himself to get the guy to walk out of the store with his bottle of Porosos. That could possibly be the first accurate recollection of any interaction between Bert and a member of the public we've ever heard. And you could even see it on his face as he was telling the story. There was a moment where he realized, oh no, wait, this isn't a good story, is it? But let's leave Bert for a moment and hear from our boy Tommy Buns.
And by the way, can I just tell you a good story of when I was a great guy? Because I feel like I'm doing all these bad things.
I almost killed a guy in a restaurant one time. And I followed him into a hallway, and I told him I was going to fucking hurt him. And I checked out of that hotel so that I wouldn't have to see him again.
For real?
Yeah.
Why?
What year was this?
He was really like,
yeah.
And he dropped the plate and then walked away. And I was like, and so I followed him into the back hall, and I was like, I'll fucking knock your head off. He was, and then I just went to the front desk. I was like, check me out of this hotel. Yeah.
I followed a dude to the bathroom one time. He's famous.
Okay, Bert, I bet you did. But can we just stop for a moment and appreciate how unintimidating Tom Segura is? He tried to do a layup while playing basketball and ended up getting assaulted by the hardwood floor in the gym. He literally got half his body broken by an inanimate object. It was probably a good thing he rushed to check out of the hotel after threatening that worker. However, in true Tom Segura style, he tried to tell a relatable story so people would understand that he's a human just like us, but ended up just making himself look like even more of an out-of-touch douchebag than he already did.
You know what? I just remember another one. You gave us...
Me? Again?
No.
Oh.
You gave me a jet ski, right? And like, I don't know, 6 months later, 9 months later, I got a second one, a little different style or whatever, brand or something. And then shortly after that, I go out one morning with Christina, we're going to go on jet skis. And so I go, get on the one that Bert gave us. And she's like, well, I learned on the other one. And I go, no, that's the one that we just got a few months ago. You rode on that one. She goes, no, I never rid on that one. Dude, we're leaving the canal, and I'm like, "You've never been on this one," and she's like, "That's the one I was on before," and I go, "You fucking have never been on this," and I was so heated that we were supposed to like tandem ride, and I just left her, and then my jet ski started to sink. It had a hole in it, and it sunk, and I had to wave her over. I was like, it just sunk. It sunk in the lake. And I was just like, I'm sorry about the jet ski thing. I need you to save me. I'm dying. I lost my mind.
Don't you hate it when you forget which jet ski you rode last? Was it the one my buddy gifted me, or was it the one I bought myself? And so by the end of the podcast, Tom and Bert had obviously shared a little bit more than they had probably planned to, so the damage control started. Like I've been saying throughout this video, and this applies mostly to Bert, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. On the one hand, he's embarrassed and he wants to change his behavior, but on the other hand, he can't wait to light someone up for not recognizing him.
Look, I am who I am. I am flawed. I am sensitive. I get my hands pursed when I get excited. I cry a lot, and sometimes I come out hot with emotion. Okay? That's it. That's it. I know my flaws, and I'm willing to share my flaws so that I can be a better person and learn from those flaws.
Hey,
that's all we're asking from our fans this episode is share times that what I would really love is people to write in with their story where they can be like, I'm
embarrassed of what I did.
I'm embarrassed of what I did.
I think the important thing to say here is that like you can hear these stories and just go, you guys are fucking entitled.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I think that like I'm not proud of those things. I don't think you're proud of that.
Proud of them. I wish I didn't do it at all.
It's like exactly, but that's the thing to point out is that like think about times where you've not been proud of how you reacted to something because it's very human. Like to act like nobody does this stuff is what's nonsense. People just go like, oh, you're the fucking one guy that like you've never had an interaction where you're like, oh, I'm embarrassed that I did.
Sorry, Tommy. I can honestly say I've never had a full-on meltdown at the airport over having to check my bag and then lashed out at my fans for calling me out on Twitter. Almost none of the things Tom and Bert spoke about in that episode are relatable, apart from maybe the disagreements with their wives over certain things. And that right there just proves how far gone these guys really are. They still don't understand that the average person does not give a fuck about being recognized at Costco or asked for a security pass at an arena. And I don't believe for a second that Bert is sharing his stuff with us to help himself become a better person and to improve. You can tell by the look on his face how excited he gets to tell stories about how much of an insufferable prick he is when he doesn't get his way instantly. And thank God for his wife Leanne for calling him out to his face. Whenever things got too personal and she started telling the truth about his behavior in public, he straight away told her to shut up. It will never cease to amaze me just how much these guys will screw themselves by being too honest and then try to backpedal once they realize how they're coming across. But like I see so many of you saying in the comments on these videos, they won't stop until there's nobody listening anymore. Anyway, don't forget to check out the link in the description to my Patreon if you're interested in my longer form uncensored content. My Kill Tony MSG Show Part 2 video is up now, as well as plenty of other stuff, and it's a great way to support the channel if you enjoy my content. Also, if you're not a regular of this channel yet here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and make sure to give me a thumbs up if you ended up liking this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.
Oh, man. I did not see this coming.
It was fun. This was good.
Yeah.
Very productive. I like it.
And by the way, yeah.